Good morning, everyone. Happy new moon. This is the title of the video literally came to me not even 20 seconds, not even 10 seconds before I pressed record. So I'm so excited about it. No, it's candlepin bowling that is just a New England or just a Massachusetts thing, but bumper bowling. Are you aware of what bumper bowling is? It's for a little bit. Yeah, all week, what did I write down? A big wish, a half court shot, a Hail Mary, and I thought about like a shorter half court. Like I was going into the sports analogies, and when I liked sports, I was a football fan, but I didn't want to, I was trying to find the right title, but bumper bowling. We are bumper bowling with this new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees. So I'm so excited about it. So Sarah, what is bumper bowling? You can't mess this up. You can't mess this up. If you, when you're bowling, you have the bumpers on the side. So you can't, just keep shooting. Just keep shooting your shot and you'll knock down those pins eventually. So continuously, how do I say? I feel as though there's two collectives that are watching this, whether Sag season or 2024 was very prosperous and very abundant for you. You created what it was that you needed to create. You're experiencing the financial freedom, the time freedom, location, financial freedom. You're stepping into your spiritual practices. You've just had a lot of, how do I say? It's like you've been bumper bowling, I guess, in a way that means you are being aligned to your highest trajectory. And I'm listening to my guides. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a channel and an astrologer. And so I channel through lenses. We usually talk about growth mindset around here, personal growth and development, leadership growth and development. My purpose is to bring you into alignment, is to guide you, from A to B, I guess. And so when I'm talking to you, my guides show me images over here, and then I have at least two other screens, tabs open, if you will, from other galactic beings, past life tales, different things like that. So right now, the guides have just been saying, we're just getting right into it. We're talking about this new moon that's coming up at the end of December, and my intention is to empower you with the energies and how you can best utilize it. Okie dokie. So the guides are saying, if you feel like you've been bumper bowling all year, you can expect a more leisurely year going into 2025. And you can expect there to be, whether it's, and they don't want, you'll know in your heart and in your bones what collective you're a part of as I'm talking, they're saying. So the first collective is, you've just really had an okay time this year, and things have fallen away effortlessly. Things have really just been very gentle and very cared for. You've been able to meditate. You've kind of come out of fight or flight. Maybe 2023 to 1 to 19 to 17 was a little bit rocky for you. And 2024, you're dealing with a little bit of everybody else is kind of struggling and I'm doing okay. And I'm really blessed with that. And so you've been expressing that blessing, but only so much. There's a lot of the law of comparison that both collectives are going to be or have been experiencing. And so I would love for that collective to just sit for a moment and express gratitude for what you've been experiencing and really just get excited for a new level. There's another level of growth and of an excitement and of beauty that you get to experience in this world. And whether it's lifetimes ago, some other time, you can't compare yourself to someone else's negative or say, I really need to count my blessings, because that's, again, thinking that you are better than the person that is experiencing their perfect timeline. This is Capricorn season as I'm talking, so this is going to shoot between the eyes a little bit. Check my disclaimer, please. And if this is your first time here, this is not your average, thingamajim jam. It's not your average astrology. We're definitely on a crash course here. So if you've had a beautiful year, amazing blessings, continue to grow and continue to share those blessings with yourself, your home, your family, your team, your flock, and get excited about them and stop comparing yourself to others that you have deemed less than. That's definitely a lesson that you can take there. If the second collective that's here at my table has really been stripped to the bone in 2024, whether you have lost so much, you've experienced ego death upon ego death upon ego death, and all of these different things, you just feel a little bit What of it? What you got, universe? What you got? Yeah, I had a moment where I was going to take a bath, and this is very personal. And so I've talked about it before. I have, it's very sensitive skin, and I have spots on my skin at some point that it's, sensitive to heat, it's sensitive to the sun, different food, and all different things. And it's very, I just am an alien, so I look like an alien a lot of the times. So I decided, I was like, I'm going to quantum leap. I'm going to take a bath. And, I had been really going through, I'm definitely in collective 2 for this one. And I was like, okay, I'm going to quantum leap. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to do a nice, Epsom salt bath and just really just enjoy it. My skin reacted to the Epsom salt that I, honest to God, looked like a dinosaur from the neck down. And I was like, what you got, universe? What you got? Come at me, bro. I was like, I'm so grateful for this experience. You could touch the gratitude? You can't have that. You can't make me upset or miserable. Come at me. I'm grateful. It was awesome. It was amazing. I was just like, literally just like a sailor screaming at the ocean. Like, what do you got? It was great. It was great. So the guides are saying, if you feel as though that you're in collective 2, this is a wonderful time to recognize that when you view it from a soul's perspective, none of this is real. We chose as souls coming to this planet to experience certain things. So it is not an egoic comparison to anyone. You just got a sheet of paper when you signed up to human. Do I want to experience this? Do I want to experience this? Yeah, sure. It was a whole list that every single soul got to choose their own contract. So you chose everything. I'm pointing at myself as well. We individually chose every single thing that we have gone through because we didn't have human emotions before we came in. We came to experience human emotions. So maybe you chose to experience lack. Maybe you chose to experience poverty. Maybe you chose to experience abundance. Doesn't matter. It was a list. And we chose without ego because we weren't in an ego body. I love the beginning of this. So we are bumper bowling right now. So knowing that whether you're in collective A or collective B, I'm hearing a lot of you say like, well, I'm in collective B. What do I get to experience next? If you're exhausted, you might get to rest. You might get to rest. And you might have things come to you a little easier. But again, I feel as though collective B, if you're a very, very, very old soul, or I'm not going to say like not an old soul, if you came to experience a lot, and it's been like efficient for you, then think of what the equal and opposite of what it is that you have experienced is. Everything goes in cycles and in waves. So whatever you have been stripped to the bone for, because I feel like there's a lot of different categories, I guess, for lack of a better term. Whatever category you feel that you've been stripped to the bone, expect the upswing of that. Expect the upswing of that. So relationships, finances, family, home, work, mission, health, wellness, whatever category of life, travel for some of you, experiencing the upswing is coming. So, yeah, this is growth. So when it comes now to really circle back to bumper bowling, regardless of what collective you feel that you were a part of, that I just spoke of, what is the next level? What is next? Look at the categories of your life. And please, I would love to ask you, I've never asked it this way, what categories of life do you follow? Like, I know that I've seen different grids of like all the categories of life, but which ones do you follow? Is it, mission, work, family, relationships, health, wellness? I would love some offerings for like to list, if my community could list the ones that they look at. And as a team, we're going to kind of look at those lists and decide together, like, okay, if I feel I'm at 100% here, maybe in 2025, I'm going to focus on, or for this new moon in Capricorn, legacy, public life, and career, public image, legacy. Maybe I'm going to look at this bucket that's been like 60, 70, 80%, and I'm really going to plant some seeds here. Please because I'm a projector in human design, I would love to also ask my community, what is your human design? Because I want to give offerings for each human design. I heard a question the other day that I really loved, and I believe, I forget exactly which Instagram page it was that I follow, so I apologize for not being able to cite them, but they said, what aligned invitations, because projectors, you have to wait for the invitation, what aligned invitations are you welcoming in 2025? So I want to leave that with you. Oh, areas of life, growth, help it grow, Fern Gully. The live that I'm doing today, it's Monday the 30th. Oh, no, pardon me. It's the 23rd. It's the 23rd as I record this. I thought I skipped a week. And we're talking about coffee over chaos. And it was a phrase that I'll talk about it in the live, but I'll put the link for that below. Because it might seem as though we're living in chaos energy, or there are so many micro and macro glitches in the matrix right now, Mandela effects, absurd upon absurd. So like you might feel like you're in a snow globe that's just constantly getting shook up. That's kind of like the Schumann resonance, the light that's coming to the planet, that's all on purpose. So ride that wave and stay focused on your North Star. Now the tarot card, I'm going to open with this. I'm going to talk about the 2 tarot cards that represent the stake in an astrological wheel, give you the times and dates for the new moon, and I have the outer planets that aren't really doing much moving up, and then I'm going to put up the inner planets. So, and this is my last moon cycle video on the island, so I'm very nostalgic I know it's the time to go. It feels like my ship has sailed, literally, but I love that this is, and I put up all the lights and they flicker, so I apologize if that is a little bit disconcerting for anyone, but it's just the way things roll around here, or just with me. So this is the 2 of Pentacles. This represents the first decan of the Capricorn astrological wheel. So from 0 to 10 degrees of Capricorn. So this is where we're manifesting. Yeah, everything is connected. So the tarot is connected to the astrology. It's the infinity symbol that connects the 2 pentacles. It's the juggler, it's the jester. It's not the fool, but he's juggling, he's making it work. The rough seas back there. This is an entrepreneur's card. This is, I've got so many balls in the air, I'm doing so many different things. This is like, you're making it work. And so we're really stepping into a little bit of an unknown as a collective, everybody not compartmentalizing, but as a collective, we're stepping into the unknown. And so how can you feel safe and secure in a snow globe? Have a North Star. Say, I'm going there. That's what I'm focused on. And have it be something big. Have it be, my guides are even saying, it doesn't have to be invitations, but maybe for everyone, just rebrand, like what type of aligned, because the invitation, what they're showing me is very much like, I see you and I like what you're doing and I want to invest in you. What are the aligned clients? What is the aligned community? What is the aligned, where something, and they're saying it is a little bit about the out there, which is fascinating to me because this isn't usually what I would say to you right now. But they're saying it is because the way we feel about ourselves is projected in the people that we see around us. That's a lot to do with Libra energy over there. And we've talked about Libra extensively with the South Node being in Libra. So what they're saying is the more work you do on yourself, the more you love yourself and enjoy yourself and celebrate yourself and romanticize your own life, you naturally emulate that feeling out and attract the people that are meant to nurture, nourish that, collaborate with you, whatever that may be. So what type of energy in the out there matches the way you feel about yourself? I'm having a full body chill. So it doesn't matter if you're a projector in human design, if you know your human design, and I can do some research. I'm fascinated by human design. It is not a mastery of mine. I only really study the projector. We've talked about this before, but depending on your human design, I can offer certain phrases. So please comment your human design below. But you've never done this before. As a human collective, we've never done this before. So just keep on keeping on. This is the Capricorn card. He has the glyph of Saturn on his hand. This is just 3D stuff. This is earthly stuff. Us having to participate in certain worlds. And it's in the book, The Science of Getting Rich. I'm listening to the audiobook, Wallace Wattles. Just about rewiring your brain as far as like how to make money and stuff like that. And so we have to remember that we cannot demonize the powers that were. Their time has, we can't really even focus on it very much. The representation of the chains that are around their neck can be easily removed. They're there because they're like happy being there. So once you recognize that this is all a video game, I always go back to like Nintendo 64. That was when I played video games. I'm 37. And so it was, Mario 64, where it's almost like this focusing on them and focusing on, the old stuff would be like standing in front of Bowser's door or walking up the infinity staircase even though you haven't completed the level yet. It's like focusing on something that's not real. You can have anything that you want. It might just be awkward. And as leaders, we have to remember we don't like being bad at things. So I want you to, like I talked about in the 2025, how to be a leader. In 2025, I need you to stinkeroo at something and get used to it. And get used to it, my dears. Get used to it. It's good for your brain. It's good for your development, and it humbles your. It's like I want you to have consistent failures and get used to that, and let it be okay. Yeah, I was listening to Simon Sinek just a short the other day, and he's like, rebranding failing is falling. And immediately I thought of a baby. Whereas a baby doesn't try to walk once and then is like, well, mess that one up, so I'm never going to do that again. It continues hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So take your ego out and get excited. Get excited about that. Try and fail. Very Gary Vee language. Try, just continuously do it. There was, I was going through all my books. I'm moving and I'm bringing, literally the majority of the things I have are books and coffee cups. And pieces of paper on the wall. That's like the majority of the things that I have. And so, oh my God, I lost it. Oh, there were some books that I was going through, and it was like, I have so many leadership growth and development books, spiritual books, all these different things. And one of them, I forget the title of it. I was like, it was like How to Build Your Following and blah, 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 blah. And I literally just put it down, and I was like, I love how every entrepreneur, that as soon as they have accomplished something, all they want to do is teach their community. That's it. It is a pass along, and helping it grow and having a growth mindset. It is one of my top 5 values in my life. It is one of the most integral parts. It's why I created my Awakened Mastery program. It is why I do all the things that I do, is because this is my mission to show you understanding this. Do you see how passionate I get about it? And so there's this book about like how to like grow your following or just your subscriber list. And I was like, post every day. That's literally it. That's it. Do it, post every day, find what slaps, quadruple down on it, post it more. And you'll find your niche. You'll find, and also I'm going to get into the astrology now. Don't stop being yourself. You'll find a place for it. Like my painting and my body art has a place in my full moon healings. I'll leave you with this. I talked about it in the leadership in 2025. I put the link for that below, so you can definitely go check that out, which is, there's a lot of ego deaths. There's like daily ego deaths that I'm experiencing right now with this move. And one of the most important things that I'm remembering to stinkeroo at is singing and music, because I recognized that I had stopped singing when I was stressed out about this move. And where I'm moving, there's it's in the basement, and that's where my art's going to be, but there's a piano. And so I get to wake up and play piano every day and sing every day. And so, you know, God's got a wicked sense of humor. And an old gym buddy of mine, he would say, you know, don't you just love it when the universe winks at you? And it's like, yeah. It's a very special piano. A very special piano. It's my childhood piano. Yeah. It's the piano I learned how to play on when I was a girl. And I love playing. Like, I'm like in it. I'm in it. So to come. Bumper bowling. Okay. I'm going to give you the times and the dates of this new moon. Eastern Standard Time. This is happening on the 30th of December at 17:26. Melbourne. I don't always like saying it that way. I know you are supposed to, but it's reel it in, girl. The 31st of December, 9:26. Gold Coast in Australia, the 31st of December, 8:26. And Central Standard Time, the 30th of December at 16:26. So everyone on the planet gets a new moon. New moon means when the sun and the moon are conjunct at the same point in time in the sky. It'll be over here at 9 degrees. So the sun and the moon conjunct in 9 degrees. And we've been talking for a little while now that the number 9 is a very important number in this new moon, and we're going into 2025 is a 9 year. Since October, from October eclipse season to March eclipse season, every single new moon is at 9 degrees. So I would really love for you to find out what planets are at 9 degrees of any sign, what, house cusps are at 9 degrees of any sign. Yeah, I think it was Scorpio was the first one. Yeah, it started in November. The first new moon was at Scorpio. So it will be 9 degrees, 9 degrees, 9 degrees, 9 degrees, 9 degrees, and then the Aries one is at 10 degrees. So find out where 9 degrees, like all of these are aspecting. All of them are aspecting. So find out what planets, what angles, what houses, all the things are at 9 degrees of any sign. That's getting rocked and upgraded. So find out what's happening there. And so behind me is the general astrological wheel. Starts in Aries and moves all the way around over to Pisces. I have an entire video on the astrology of 2025. It's called Dipping Our Toes in the New World. I have incredible resources for you, all signs readings for 2025, a workbook for 2025. All of the links are below for that. I will put the link for 2025 Dipping Our Toes as well, because this area of the chart between like 25 degrees of Pisces to 10 degrees of Aries is getting so incredibly rocked, so incredibly upgraded. And for the general wheel, this is the very end and the very beginning. That's why I'm here to help, because it's a very interesting time in the world. It's a very curious time. I know. It's so much fun to say. It's just so curious what's going on right now. So, Pluto, we've talked about in depth over here. I'll just mention everybody that's up right now. There's one aspect that I want to mention. Mars. Yes, okay. So Mars is retrograde in Leo energy over here, trining the North Node. This is why it kind of feels like that bumper bowling for me, where it's what you're supposed to be doing, whether you're in the first collective or the second collective. I talked about at the beginning, something needed to strip away. If you've lost a lot, it's almost like they're showing me that like there's people from collective A and people from collective B that are going to be brought together. But and it was interesting. I was looking at my on Instagram, my stories archives. And about this time last year, I saw that there was I had done a whole card reading, and there was latch your honors, there was some, spicy narcissism around, there were some different things that were going on that had a lot to do with the North Node transiting Aries and the South Node transiting Libra. And I feel as though you're being removed from situations right now that you're not supposed to be in. But I want you to refocus that to say, I'm being brought towards situations that I am supposed to be in. So I talk about that in the 2025 guide. Remember Lot's wife. You look forward. You don't look back, kid. Look right at me. Keep walking. Keep walking. So Mars retrograde in Leo, trining the North Node over here. This is our collective destiny. The North Node is sitting at, and I follow the mean node and Lilith, sitting at 1 degree, going into Pisces in January. Our assertive aggression, trining our yes friend of make it happen. I'm listening to the guides, and the higher selves are coming through, and our higher selves want to remind us that they are going to be your yes, helicopter parent, you're doing great, sweetie, as you're doing drugs and doing all the things, because it's for your development, and they will support you every single step of the way. But they want you to really nurture and nourish that relationship a lot more, and have a little ways of a check-in. Whereas, when I have a very fluid relationship with my higher self, and there's it's very actually, no, it's more baseball, but it's we have hand gestures that basically, I want you to create your own. But all I'll say is, if I know, I have a very fluid relationship with the way that I see her, and if I'm herself, what's going on? I'll tell you this one, if she's not allowed to tell me, if it's something, and when I say she's not allowed to, because my soul, I decided not to have her answer the question, because I don't want to put her on a pedestal to say she's better than. She's there to help me find my way. So if it's something where I'm trying to get the answer, she'll just go, and I'm I have to figure this out on my own. Yeah, girl. Yeah. You can't go to the guides at all times and have them just give you the prophecy of the world. You have to actively participate and co-create. And I also know that that's when I'm kind of in a little bit more of a woe is me type of mentality, the victim instead of the victor mentality. So when I see that, there's certain hand gestures. I also know when I do hey, are you here and you're behind me? Then she'll have her hand on my shoulder and she'll be there making decisions with me. So when she's there with me, I know I'm empowered. And when I'm what's the answer? I'm disempowered. So finding a way to connect to your higher self. I have a free digital download in my digital marketplace. It's completely free. It's connecting to your higher self. We meet at a cafe table. It's just a little guided meditation, super accessible. It's free, so definitely check that out. And so Mars retrograde in Leo, yes friending, trining the North Node. I want you to be very delulu with what it is that you're bumper bowling towards. Knowing that you're bumper bowling, knowing that your highest and greatest good is calling you, and that's what that dream is, and that's what that is. I don't want you talking to people that have question marks around them. I don't want anyone that you're I don't know if I can say this, I don't know if I can share this, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want you sharing with them. That's your gut saying you're not supposed to, that you're not supposed to. We also have Pluto, 1 degree, sextiling the North Node. Sextile, it's your favorite cousin at the party. It's actually very workable energy. It's fun energy. It's good, usable energy. Pluto is our deepest transformation. North Node is the head of dragon, where we're going. I'm seeing it, the opposition. I'm seeing it. It's wide. Use this in a way that you might have, regardless of the collective that you were part of at the beginning, you might feel like a completely different person than you were even this morning, even yesterday, even last week. And that might be a little bit intense and scary because it's super duper integrated. And it might feel kind of awkward. It feels as though as a collective, we're going through like a teenage growth spurt right now. And that's beautiful and amazing. So just be super kind to yourself. You might be exhausted. You might not understand what's going on. I really want you to be in a space where you are safe enough to get to know your authentic self at all times and not constantly be like, this is why I say you need one day a week to just be with your VIPs and with yourself and with God, so you can get to know this very authentic, very raw version of yourself right now, because it's birthing so quickly. Show of hands, who's going through massive upgrades so quickly. And it's integrated instantaneously, but when we're around a collective that has expectations of us, but doesn't really support our growth, we can't grow. You know, you're a plant that's in a pot that's too small for you, and I need you to constantly be like, I'm okay to be repotted. I'm okay to be transformed. Yeah, I think that resonates. Okay, so that's the only aspect that I'm really going to talk about right now. I'm just going to put Mercury in Sag at 18 degrees down up here, and Venus at 26 of Aquarius over here. So Mercury still in Sagittarius. It's been in Sagittarius for a while. We had that Mercury retrograde over here. So this is real big thinking. This is big thinking. This is education. I really want you thinking about something new going into 2025 that you want to really study because you're interested in it. I want you to never stop growing, but at the same time, like for me, it's piano and song and musical expression. I have a guitar as well. Like I want to really nourish and nurture that. So I don't want you to think that it always has to be something that's like monetizable or something. But it was interesting. I was watching the Blues Brothers last night, and it's just an incredible movie. Just so much great music. Like it's, if you've never seen the Blues Brothers, for the love of, please just watch it and thank me later. And there was a moment where I just saw them all playing, and they were on stage. It was at the end, and I just thought to myself, how many hours, years, days, seconds, every single one of those musicians put into their craft just for one or two songs. Like years of their lives individually. For my brain just went to this like beautiful tism space where I was like, can you imagine the calculations of like how many hours they've spent studying and just strumming guitars and playing the drums and just having imposter syndrome and thinking to themselves like, what is this? Why am I doing this? Like how much energy went in, like, and it just warmed my heart to think of like, and they're all like incredible musicians. It was, just look into it. I won't explain the entirety of the Blues Brothers band in any capacity, but just please do your own research on it. But it was just so beautiful. It was just so beautiful to be like, yeah, that's amazing. So it could be anything that you want to. I want studying to be like, study something or do something or create something just for the sake of doing it. Because as we know in my Awakened Mastery program, we talk about that, where that nurtures the big thing. Creative expression is like the bonded, it's the seal, it's the solve, it's the finish of just the whole thing. You can't have, how do I say? It's like when I think of my practice, it's a triangle, whereas the base is personal growth and development, leadership growth and development. That's my foundation. One pillar is metaphysical practices, spirituality, and then the other pillar is creative expression. That's why we flow with the cycles of the moon, because it gives you a map as to how to work with that. So Venus in your house of community friendships, which is for the future, Pluto in your house of community friendships, which is for the future, that might have been coming together or exploding right quick. And micro, that's for yourself, but macro, you see the shifting and changing of the outside world. There's a lot of floundering going on out there, so flounder with it. I also have the first chapter of my Awakened Mastery program that is available for a free digital download. It's literally called Flounder and Efficient Ego Death. You stepping into your most authentic self requires you to stinkeroo at something. It requires you to constantly be tripping and falling, constantly be developing, constantly be learning about yourself. And so when you integrate a little bit of these metaphysical practices into your life, incorporating a creative expression that maybe you stinkeroo at, it kind of just nurtures the muscle of being okay with stinking at something. I think that hit. I think it hit. So because there's so many of you that are just like stinking at something, creative expression, who's got the time for that? Like, it will just completely shift your entire life and align you to your highest potential. It's just not gonna look like what you think it's gonna look like. Let it be better. Let it be better. So listen to Mercury, listen to your dreams, and also don't listen to your dreams. Sometimes, what do you mean by that, Sarah? Sometimes they're messages, sometimes you're just experiencing something that you don't have to experience in human form. You just have to say, oh, that's over. I'm processing that in a different quantum space, and now coming into my human space, I don't have to do that. I'm processing something. It's kind of like maybe you'll have a dream where you have imposter syndrome and you are judging yourself or you're mocking yourself or whatever it may be. And then when you come out of it, you're like, I didn't like the way that tasted in my mouth. I'm actually really awesome and really great and really wonderful. And I don't want to feel that anymore. So it could be a lesson. It could be just like a preview and a amuse-bouche of like, do you want to live this? And you'd be like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. So we're running, Precious Cargo, Human Avatar. This is number one. Is where consciousness decides to reside. Otherwise, we'd be other places. But when we dream, when we sleep, our soul is fixing things. It's got more things to do. More things to do. So continuously ride that wave. Continuously be with it. Trust it. If you feel like you need to journal out your dreams, amazing. Amazing. One's not right or wrong, but if they're violent and disturbing and gross, look at some shame stuff. Look at some personal, do some mirror work if that's something that you're cozy and comfortable with. Just listening to the guides. This time of year for a lot of people is very activating, triggering, curious, magical, wonderful. And I had written down a big wish. I want you to make a big wish. And when your heart and your intentions are pure and you feel as though you've been smashed down a lot, I'm feeling this for a lot of you. It's like you're not believing in the magic anymore. You're not believing in fairies anymore. You're not believing in the wonder of the world. And that came through for Scorpio a few times in the all signs readings, where Scorpio's like, you told me this was coming and they didn't. You told me this was coming and it didn't. You told me this was coming and it didn't. And what you believe, you'll see. So maybe make a big wish right now. Because the energy of that, I feel as though, there's parallels to making a wish and bumper bowling, but there's also a very different childlike wonder and curiosity when it comes to making a wish. Bumper bowling, you're the one that's still bowling, you're the one that's still doing it. But when you make a wish, there's a little bit of magic in there. So I'll leave you with this. There have been many seasons of my life where I have said, I could just give up. And I could just, take a nap in the middle of the grocery store, and someone would eventually come over and put a blanket over me and they'd feed me. There's food all around, and I could just give up. But I was blessed enough to be on God's wake-up list. And I have not fully actualized the dream that I have. So there's more life in me left. And I'll die on this mountain. So make a wish. I love you. Happy new moon.